Yeah, sorry about that. A message came. You should tape it on your phone. A message come up. I thought, what's that? I closed the message down and accidentally shut the video off. And now because I've shut the video off, I can't redo it, so I'm doing it in 2 parts. So, VAT. Yeah, run with the VAT. Prices you quote don't include the VAT, and then it just comes through with the invoice with the VAT on it. And cancellation fees. Cancellation fees, I put on my CX at £25 an hour. They're negotiable. Like I say, if you've just gone around the corner and the job got cancelled, you can go, oh, give me a tenner or something like that. If you've driven a mile to get there, or you've done an hour of your time, and they go, oh, sorry, the job doesn't work, you can go, well, I've done jobs before where I've practically, done the job. And I go, well, but then you just negotiate with them. They tend to be quite kind on the CX. You just talk to them. Yeah, golf monthly sales. Apparently, now I forgot to check it out. Sorry, mate. There are PODs on the website, on the CX website, which you can print off. And another guy did say, he said, I spoke to the CX and they sent me through like a template. So you don't, I showed you that POD book that I used. You don't really need to do that. I will, once I've worked out where it is and I print it off, I'll show you how it works. But yeah, what you can do, apparently, you can go on the CX. You can, morning gentlemen, you can type down, get the thing, get it printed off, prints off on a sheet of A4, cut it in half, and then you've got 2 of them because it's A5, so it prints on a sheet of A4. What else we got? Photo cards. Thanks for getting back to me, guys. Michael Hall, you can go to photoidcardpeople.com. They'll do you one. And Morris also, he sent me one, theplasticcardfactory.co.uk. And Morris also sent me a link on Word of how you can build up a letterhead. Once again, I haven't got around to doing any of these things. As soon as I have, I'll fill you in, I'll let you know. Right, this one comes up all the time, vans and insurance. Now, there is a thing on there, there is a video on here already that says about insurance. What type of van should you buy to run on the courier exchange? This is a video in itself, to be honest with you. The long and the short of it is, really, if you want to make the dough, the best van to get, and although my mate Alan will disagree with this, I'd say get the biggest van you can. If you could get a Luton with a curtain and a tail lift, short of it, you can do any job on the CX, short of it being like a lorry, 7.5 tonne. And a 7.5 tonne, that starts getting into operators' licences and then it starts to become painful. But if you want a pain-free life, I personally recommend Luton. I drive a rigid with a tail lift. I've always driven rigid. There are a lot of curtain-sided jobs that I lose, but if you've got a tail lift and you've got a pump truck, you can take long jobs. You can take 3-metre pallets on it. Alan, he drives a small van, or he's going to get a small van. He says because the diesel's so cheap. He says that these new super efficient engines, you can get it in for like 10-15p a mile. And he says you can run all over the shop at 65p a mile. No aggravation. The thing about small van jobs also is small van jobs, they're, hang on a second. So they load and unload very easily. We're going to change site here because people are coming out now. Bear with me a second. It's all go today, isn't it? Right, we're indoors now because we've got family down because it's bank holiday. And they just came out to the garden because it's nice. So I said, I'm just going to finish the video, boys. I'll be with you. Right, so vans. Small van, 65 pence a mile. Minimum about £25 a job. Short wheelbase, maybe a little bit more, 70p a mile. You could go for £30 a job. Medium wheelbase, you're looking about, I say, 80p a mile. Long wheelbase, 90p a mile. Extra long wheelbase, £1 a mile. Luton, 110 a mile. Luton with a curtain side, 120, 130. These prices vary. You know, if you're close to pick up and it's early in the morning, you get more money for an early job than a later job potentially, because a lot of people are going home on the later ones. You know, if you really want the job, if you're on your way home, it's 2 o'clock, you're in Leicester, you live in Dunstable, job comes up Leicester to Dunstable, you know that everybody else is going to be quoting around 50 quid, you might want to quote 40, you might want to quote 30, you think it's ludicrously cheap, but you think I'll pick it up, I'm finished, I'm at my doorstep, it's my journey home. It's really down to you, it's how you feel. If it's like, you know, pallets as opposed to handball, if it's handball, if it's going to take a while to get it on, you can quote more money. But really, that's your ballpark figures. I would say for Luton, you're looking at about 50, 60 minimum, because every job's going to take you at least an hour, and that's man and van, well, probably 2 hours by the time probably 2 hours by the time you gone to it, picked it up, dropped it, done the thing. You're very unlikely to get it in for an hour. It's kind of, you work it out, but that'll give you a ballpark figure. I've done this before, but that gives you a ballpark figure on what to do. Which van you want to buy, how much money you got, how big a van do you want to buy. It's really down to you. They all work. I would say just buy a van. Get on the CX, buy a van, Get your goods in transit insurance. Get your sort of your hire and reward insurance, and start. And once you've started, you can go, oh, do you know what? I wish I had a bigger van. I'm missing out on jobs here. Or do you know what? This van's too big for me. I wish I had a smaller van. My cousin runs a smaller van. Just start. Start working out. That's the way it is. That's the best thing to do. Journey of a million miles, gentlemen. So there we go. What else have we got? Keith Barnes, my mate. I hope you made it back from Inverness. He had a hell of a slap. Bless him. He was supposed to be home for the Good Friday, and a job came in. He was in Slough to Inverness. So we dropped that off in Inverness on Friday morning. There weren't a lot of jobs I've got to say about on the Friday. There was one came in for me. It was UB7 to Bristol, wait and return. It's like 215 miles. I quoted him 200 quid, and I'd have had to drive around to UB7 to pick it up. I still didn't win it, and that was in a Luton. So I didn't really care, to be honest with you. It was, that is the problem. You start thinking, I want that job. You quote cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and at the end of the day, if you're not careful, you end up doing a job for next to nothing. You could end up doing like 8 hours work on a Good Friday and earn yourself 40 quid. It's just not worth it, So instead, I went up the yard where I parked my van, picked up several pallets, drove them to the pallet place around the corner, and the guy gave me £35. It's not a ton, it took me 2 trips, and it's not a ton of money, but I didn't have to go far, and I didn't do no diesel, it was not hard work. So, what else? He used a carp fishing bed. So if you're sleeping in the van overnight, this is something to think about. Camping shops, or sort of, anything outdoorsy, they've probably got foam mattresses, camping beds, Z beds. So that might be worth looking into. And I'll have a look on that kind of thing. So, right, this is another thing, 2-stroke. Should you put, I think this Ken also, he put me straight on this one because he's a mechanic. Should you put 2-stroke oil in with your diesel? To prolong the life of the engine. And he showed me an interesting article from some American geezer. The long and short of it is this: since the ultra low emission diesels come in, there's like waxes they put into diesel which lubricate the top of the engine to stop it wearing out. Because they put the ultra low emission in, or the ultra low sulfur, a lot of these waxes have been seriously reduced, which probably isn't good for the diesel. So you could put 2-stroke in. The long and short of the guy was this: he said you could do it. And he said, much as I favour, individual ways of doing it, he said, I wouldn't recommend it. He said, what you're much better off with is either, and I don't think the guy works for Amsol, Amsol all-in-one, or Amsol diesel injector clean. And that's I haven't done anything. I kind of figured the diesel's got the cleaning in, and I probably should. But if you maybe get a bottle of this, and you add a little bit every time you add the diesel, that could prolong your life of the engine. Engine's the most expensive part of the van, I would say. So, that could be the way forward. If anyone's done it, works for them, let me know. See how it goes. George, what's his name here? George Mark, am I self-employed or a limited company? I'm self-employed. I was self-employed as a market trader, so I've just carried on from that. I'm not a limited company. I'm not that big. I guess probably if you start to get involved in other people and stuff like that, then maybe, but it's just me, just a one-man van, me in a van. So, that was that one, really. Goma21 asked me, how many miles do I do and how much money do I spend in diesel? It varies. On Wednesday, I think I probably did about 100, 150 miles. I picked up locally, I drove into London, and then I picked up again in London, dropped another 2 in London, and then drove home again. On Thursday, I probably did somewhere in the region of 600, 700 miles. I picked up on the Thursday night for Friday, and then I had a drop in I went from Dunstable to Sunderland, where I dropped a pallet, which was at a barbecue. And then I went from Sunderland to Newcastle, and then from Newcastle, Stockton-on-Tees, and when I picked up something for Renault, and I took that down to Oxford. I started at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got home at 8:30 at night, but it was a good day. Took money, so there's the last video, I was on it then. But yeah, it varies. It depends what job comes up, because you see, I'm going to CX, there's a job there, and it's going from Dunstable or Leighton Buzzard or Houghton Regis round to Slough, Luton van. I'll do that. I'll quote them 70 quid, £80. First thing, I might win it. And then the next one, the next morning, there's a job on here. It's going from Aylesbury and it's going to Manchester. I'll do it. I'll quote them £170, £180. And then I'll have to work my way back from Manchester. Every day is different. which is one of the nice things. It's interesting, and you're not sitting in the same office doing the same thing every day. It's kind of and different things, different jobs, different people. So yeah, it varies. How much do I spend on diesel? Well, I think it works out about 25p a mile. I've worked it out to. Of course, you've got to add like wear and tear, rent a van, all that. That's not your costs, but that's how much money I spend on diesel. And the amount I do in diesel depends on how many miles I do that week. So that's kind of it. I am going to do a live stream next Sunday, I think. I don't know what time. In my mind, about maybe 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little bit late. I don't really know how it goes. I guess I just bang on and go, Pete's available. So if anyone wants to talk to me, we'll do a live stream. And if no one's available, I'll probably just bang on and do another Q&A. So that's kind of it. If I miss your question, sorry. It's been a lazy, weekend off, So it's been quite nice. Spent some time with the family, did the garden. It's been sunny, it's been lovely. Had some family down, it's been good. So family, thanks for all the kind comments about the haircut. To be honest with you, at this age, I'm happy just to still have hair. It's a bit short. Took a bit of getting used to. It's a bit short, but hey, no, I just go in and go tidy it up. I go, what do you want? I don't know, just tidy it up. I'm hopeless in hairdressers. And thank you to anyone who downloaded the book. I think about 50 copies went out, which is kind of cool for me. So, and if you read it, I hope you enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, tell your mates, tell the family. At the end of the day, I just wanted to write it, and I just hope that people do like it. So that's today's report from Pete, the courier driver, in 2 parts. Because while we was on it, we had people come in, I pressed the wrong button, and a dog entered the garden. So it's been an interesting morning. So enjoy your bank holiday, guys. Don't work too hard. It's not all about the money. It's not all about the van. Family, health is important. So, like I say, today's report from Pete, the courier driver, sitting in his front room. Take care, take money.